Okay, Dalton, another new career high. It's like you're on another level. What's going through your head when you're out there?
Just being confident out there. Teammates just having trust in me, and the coaching staff for also putting me in those situations.
Well, coming into the season, you knew you were going to have to play a bigger role considering the guys who left, but did you expect this high a level from yourself?
Oh yeah, I always think that I should be one of the best players on the court every single night. So I feel like just putting in hard work could only tell.
I know Coach talked about needing to lock down defensively and get in transition. Seemed like y'all were able to do that a little bit better tonight. How would you just evaluate the overall defensive performance?
I think when we got our stops, it felt like we was all just running out and getting easy shots. We're a good transition team. We work on it, but it always finishes with defensive rebound and then running out. So.
Is there a little bit of relief knowing y'all finally got the second one?
Oh yeah, for sure. We had a lot of close ones. Almost every single game has been close, so just glad to get a W. The team is.
Jim mentioned your game kind of going to the next level. You're able to score at the rim, fade away. You really don't seem to have a lot of holes right now in your game. What was the one thing that you worked on the most this summer to take yourself to this level?
Just a lot of post work. In JUCO, I was just coming off ball screens and stuff, so I felt comfortable when I came here coming off ball screens and just shooting off dribble shots. So a lot of posting up and then working out with Corey all the time, so that always helps.
You look at what you guys were able to do tonight. I think an underrated performance tonight. Brock Wisney, the young guy who's seen his role elevate. What do you as a leader talk to him about when he's going through games like this, and how proud of you are of him stepping into this role?
Oh yeah, we're all the whole team's proud of him. He's playing out of his mind right now. He's going against crazy big men every single game, and he's just working harder than them. He just wants it more than everybody.
Tough road trips coming up here on the road for 3 games. How does this give you the momentum to go out there and attack?
It gives us a lot of momentum. Just getting starting a road trip. Where are we at? Do you know? Flagstaff? Oh yeah. Well, last time we played there, Matt hit a game winner, so
right.
We'll be ready for them. It's good just to start off the road trip with a W.
Last question from me. It's not till Saturday, so you get kind of maybe an extra day to get the bye. Is that coming at the right time now that you're 8 games through the conference season? It's almost midway point. Is it going to be kind of nice to, I'm not going to say take it easy this week, but at least have that extra day to kind of prep for them?
Oh yeah, it's always nice just to have an extra day to prepare. And the coaches will get us right, scout and stuff. They'll be ready. All of us will be ready to play.
I do want to know, free throws. Do you know why they're so inconsistent?
I'm not sure. Tonight, I think at halftime, Coach said we was 5 for 8, and we didn't make a 3 until Matt's half quarter. So I felt like the rims were just closed in on that side of the floor, and then second half, I felt like we made a lot more free throws.
Well, you look at it. You win by 6, and there's a million plays, and I think you always think about the end of the game, and we could talk about that. But I also think, the end of the half, okay? And I think it was like a tie game or whatever. And this is like the minutia of it, But at the end of the day, we got to stop. We had the ball with 48 seconds left. Those are called 2-for-1s. We have one timeout that you have to use or lose. We didn't use it. Dalen came down, got to score, and you got to score quick. You got to score quick because the game clock's going to run in the first half. So Dalen got to score. They had 37, so it was about a 7-second differential. The big kid, Jones, who's a great player, hit a 3, but without calling a timeout, we had the wherewithal to get it to Matt, and Matt hit that 35-footer or whatever at the buzzer. And that's awesome, and Matt's good enough to make that shot, but if we hang our heads because Jones hit his first 3 in several games and just say, oh, it's halftime, it's a tie game, 1, we don't have momentum. 2, that's 3 points that we needed at the end of the game that really came down to the last couple of possessions. So the situational stuff was great, but more importantly, just the winning stuff. And I think with this team, I think we're playing really hard. I think we can get better in terms of, playing smarter and smarter. And after that Eastern Washington game, last time we met here, I thought we played well. We lost by 3 possessions. You cut the film, you see a million good things. And I decided I was rolling the dice because I think confidence is very fragile and you got to stay positive. But brought him in and said, guys, there's so many good things. I'm going to show you 26 things that we could have done better. 26 things in these clips that if we just do 3 or 4 of them better, we would have won this game. And that team's now won 9 in a row. They won again today. And I don't do that, guys, talking about my team, to demoralize you. I'm doing it to show you how close we are to being a really good team. And I was nervous doing it, but I thought that was yesterday in practice. They really handled that well. And I thought we had a great practice. Our attention to detail is great. Coach Green, Dorian did a great job on the scout. This is a tricky scout in a one-day turnaround because they run so much stuff. But our guys were dialed in. We knew how we wanted to guard them, and I thought it really helped out. So I know I'm rambling, but just a lot of positive things. Then down the stretch, the winning plays. Dalton was amazing. Dalen was amazing. But what also was amazing is guys like Langston and Caleb getting stops on Devontae Moffitt one-on-one, and then Theo getting those rebounds late. Those are huge plays.
Speaking of Dalton, I asked him this, but he's like on a whole other level. You knew coming into this season that he was gonna be better and he was gonna take a bigger step in the lineup. But did you kind of expect this level?
You never know. I mean, I know this, and people said, like when he came in, he was one of the leading scorers in the country in junior college. And people said, well, he averaged like 8 or 9 points a game last year. What's the deal? I said, well, we also have, 2 guys that are in the pros now, Bodie and Drew, and another guy, Coor, that will be in the pros next year. 3 pros on that team, including Dalen, who's the leading scorer in the league, Matt Johnson, who's an all-league guard, and Dalton. They're all really good. But Dalton had some good games, but then he got hurt. People forget. And so he got hurt, and he missed, 4 weeks with that knee injury right in the middle of the season. Then we got to kind of jam him back in the lineup. It's just different. So I knew he'd be way better. I knew his production. I knew we were going to play him a lot. What he's doing right now is phenomenal. I mean, it's amazing because it's not just like a one-time wonder. It's over and over and over. But what I would say about Dalton is what I'm most proud of. I didn't take him out of the game tonight, 40 minutes. And with that being said, he made some of his most important plays at the end of the game where there ain't nothing left in the tank. Whether it's making a shot, just little detail stuff. He did some big time things, and that's on second game in 3 days, playing every single minute. So the toughness was really good.
Talk about the defensive effort and kind of evaluate what you saw.
So, Jones, the big kid, is as good of any big that I've seen in this league since Joel Ballenboy. And Joel Ballenboy is a guy that I coached at Weber. And, I'm nostalgic about that. But he was the 55th pick in the NBA draft. He's the last guy that got drafted out of this league. And I don't know much about Jones other than what I see on film, but I know he's really good. I know he had 42 points against Sacramento State this year. I know he scored 61 points in a junior college game last year. I know he's really, really good. So you can't just go straight up. Like it just doesn't work. So the ability to trap him and make someone else beat you, that was good. And then I think the other guy, Devontae Moffitt, he was the player of the week last week in the Big Sky. So they have the second and third leading scorers in the league. So they get about 42 points a game, which is about what they got. But you got to make them earn it. And I thought we did a pretty good job of that. You look at Jones. Jones only got 9 shots. He'll take 25 shots if you let him. And I think too, he's like 66% from the field. He never misses. So you got to pick your poison. What I'm proud of though is we call it The Other Guys. One of my favorite movies, Will Ferrell, great movie. But the other guys, which would be Dom Ford, Saw Lee, Trey Smith, Rashad Smith, those guys can shoot, and that's why their team's built really well. Great point guard, great big shooters. It's a mess to guard them. And the other guys, we said, look, you can't let these guys hit 8, 10, 12 threes. And if you look at it, they had 6 threes. Trey Smith hit a 3 at the end of the shot clock in the first half, which is an unbelievable shot, and the big kid hit the shot at the end of the first half. Those guys only made 4 threes. And so that was a huge deal in terms of being detailed and doing your job because they can go for like 10, 12, 13 threes and you're going to lose. So I thought the detail was good there. I thought the fight was good. I thought Brock was great on Jones. Brock had 10 rebounds at halftime. The kid's playing really hard. So I thought we did a lot of good things and really limited them in in a lot of ways.
Well, looking back, Thursday night, 50 points in the paint that was given up. I mean, I think it had to be a concerted effort with Jones coming in. You mentioned the double teams. It was evident early you weren't just going to let him, go to town, and kind of the game plan had switched. But how proud of you are of your guys? Are you execute the game plan and be able to keep him from getting to his spot where he wanted to dictate?
Every game in this league is different. I think it's a really well coached league, and everyone has their own style and of playing basketball, how they want basketball to look based off of their roster and their personnel. And so you got to play Ewash. Like Ewash today took 33 threes. They made 11 and they won. So you got to pick your poison. Against us, they made 4 out of 14. Okay, we limited the 14 threes, and we said, look, you got to resist at the rim. I was disappointed that even though we're going to resist at the rim one-on-one, I didn't think we did a good enough job. But then you go to Idaho, and it's like Jones is a whole different deal. And that's just going to be a bad idea. When the guy from Sac State, who's a great player, and he weighs 280 pounds, he had 42 on him. And that's not a slight at the Sac State kid. He's a good player, but that's just how good Jones is. So to be able to flip the scout, learn the scout, and in a quick turnaround, and really that's our last one because we got a week for NAU. Now we're in the second half of the league, and now you have some familiarity with every opponent. But these are all new teams and players, and you got to figure it out quick. So the detail was really good tonight.
How important is it to have guys like Matt, Dalen, Langston, Caleb all being so dynamic that they can kind of switch on the 1 and 2 when you need to pull a guy?
No question. And we did have some foul trouble tonight. Matt hit that third foul early in the second half. Matt and Dalen both had 2 fouls, I think, in the early second half, if I can remember right. But that's where we got to have confidence in those young kids because they're talented. They just don't know what they don't know. That's another good movie quote, Zero Dark 30. We don't know what we don't know. And then the CIA director's like, well, what does that mean? But they're young, they're fresh, they don't know some of this stuff. And sometimes the only way to learn is experience. But they're talented and they play hard. And so to go to your question though, Jaden, having them be switchable and okay, Langston could be the 1 or the 2, Matt could be a 1, he could be a 2, Dalen in 2, it's like if Matt and Langston are in, I'm to the point where Langston usually plays the 1 and Matt plays the 2. It helps Matt rest, where he doesn't have to grind on every ball screen offensively. We can put him in that right corner, run some action, whatever it is, because it's hard to bring that ball up and have someone pressure you for 40 minutes, as an example. But those young kids did a great job tonight. They played a combined 32 minutes, and it was really solid basketball out of both those guys.
Coach, you're looking at that class. I mean, in my eyes, maybe one of the most physically ready to play group that I've seen in the Big Sky in my time around here. I mean, just talk a little bit about, is that something that you saw in them that drew you to recruiting those kids? Yeah,
and the other guy that is not playing as much right now, but I'm just telling you, we call him Juju, but Joao Ramirez, he's going to be special. He's really good, and he helped us win some games in New Mexico. We started him against North Dakota State, Jacksonville State. He's going to be really good too. But those guys, they are, Brock's 230 pounds. He's just a man-child. And in a year from now, he's going to dunk every pocket pass Matt made to him, and Jones got those blocks. A year from now, that thing's going in because he's got the right mindset for it. And then Langston and Caleb, different bodies but big athletic bodies. So, yeah, that was the biggest thing is we're playing 18-year-olds against 23-year-olds. And it's one of the reasons why we're having some bumps and bruises. But our ceiling is high because if we can keep learning, those young kids get more comfortable. We got another gear in us. I really believe that, regardless of our record. But they are physically at least ready. A lot of freshmen just aren't ready to go, especially the way with this portal and everyone's got all these old guys. And so, but and the other thing is too, none of those guys are afraid. They're not afraid to compete, and that's the biggest thing is they've got a big heart on them.
I do want to know, what was kind of going through your mind early with officiating? You were probably as passionate as I've seen you in a while.
Well, the biggest thing is, and those are really good officials. We've had good officials all year. I thought, and I go back and watch the film, you just got to kind of trust your eyes initially, but I thought the flop charge call is a funky one. It's really hard for refs, coaches, players, but at the same point in time, the emphasis all the way to the NCAA and all these instructional videos it's mandatory. We got to watch them. We got to talk to our guys. The head official talks to our guys in the private scrimmage. Hey, block because it's a technical now. If you flop, it's a T. And I've just been. I know it's hard, but there's been multiple times where I'm just trying to fight for my guys where I feel like there's more maybe flops out there. And that was kind of what that was. I just felt like, on their team there was a couple times where, and they didn't call a foul or a charge, but, the emphasis that I've understood, and I've talked all the way to the head officials, like, I'm either doing a bad job coaching this or that, but, like, I don't understand it. And I think it's just nationwide people are having a tough time because it is a 50-50 call, but I was frustrated with that. And then I thought, in the second half that, we only took 16 threes tonight. We were living at that rim, and it was a physical game. And it's very easy, like as a fan, say, well, the foul count's 7-1. And that's as I tell the refs, I don't want to be that guy. However, we are living at the rim, and we're not getting to the free throw line at all. And I do think there's more contact, So, but those guys are good dudes, and I try to never take it too far. And my goal is unless it's for some crazy reason, I don't want to be the guy that gets a T. I get a T, we're going to lose. The game's too close. It's not fair to the kids. So it's just, I haven't had many T's in my career. I had one when I was an immature second year head coach in junior college, and I lost the regional championship. We lost by 1, and I was stupid enough to get a T. Throw my jacket. It was back in the day when we wore suit coats, and I threw my jacket, and the ref rightfully gave me a T. And, about 10 minutes later, as I watched the kid make the free throw, I was like, wait a second. Like, I can't do that. You know what I mean? So, and those guys are good because they let you talk to them. And as long as you don't take it too far, it's not that big of a deal. But I was passionate too. It's like, we got to find a way to win. We got to fight. It's all hands on deck. And that was just kind of, we're going to bring some juice and we're going to get out there and just try to get this done.
Last thing I was want to talk about, you mentioned Brock's performance, but 10 rebounds in the first half, 12 overall.
Yeah.
I mean, 3 steals, 7 points. Like, the guy has really accelerated his learning curve since he's jumped into the starting lineup, I think.
I think he's earned it. And he did that against, honestly, the best big in the league. And he was close to having, I told our staff, we kept in those pocket passes, we call them overloads, and we were finally executing it right. And Matt was making the right read, and they weren't tagging off Dalton. And it's starting to make sense. He's going up, boom, just getting it blocked. And then finally, like, someone's like, will you go dunk? Because he's athletic. He hasn't shown it yet, but I'm telling you, he's athletic. And he tried, and he got it pinned again. And I told our staff, so I'm telling you, in a year, like, he's gonna have 20 in a game like this. Like, it's that close, because again, he's just tough, and he's just not afraid. His dad played in the NFL. His sister plays basketball at Indiana. His mom is a swimmer at Notre Dame. Like, he's got it in his genes, and that's what he is. So, and he comes from a family with 1 million brothers and sisters, and he had to fight to get food. Like, they throw all the food out there, and all these kids are out there grabbing food, and like, if you're a punk, you're not gonna eat. So, you should see the kid eat. But no, he's a tough kid.